Questions haunted me at this point in the case. Where had I slipped up along the way? How had they found and murdered Drake? What did these mysterious symbols mean? After all this searching, I still knew next to nothing about who the Euclideans were and why they had gone to such lengths. What was the goal of all of this? Or was it all just well-organized madness, dressed up as something more? I did some digging about the address on the business card, which turned out to lead to a sushi restaurant called Kiss Seafood, the last place I expected. It was owned by a husband and wife couple by the name of Naka. He was the chef and she was the maitre d'. He was renowned for his impeccable knife skills, especially with fish and other types of meat. He trained in the rigorous traditional style under a highly revered sushi master in Japan before coming to America. I thought back to the delicately sliced section of Drake's neck skin and almost lost my appetite. I interrogated Chef Naka, but he spoke only broken English. He told me that a mysterious green-eyed man, or Mr. Gordon again, had come in with a highly unusual request. He told him that he'd heard of his skill with a blade and requested that he complete some carvings for him. He also asked that he hold on to some mysterious packages that would arrive, and that Gordon would pick up personally at a later time. The man gave him a section of skin to carve with a lie that it was from a pig, but Chef Naka knew all different kinds of animal flesh with an intimacy that most people would not. He instantly guessed that this was the flesh of a different animal altogether. He told me that Mr. Gordon threatened to tell the local authorities that he had proof that the Nakas were embedded spies working for Japan, trading American secrets that they learned from the high-powered businessmen and government officials who regularly ate at the restaurant during meetings. At the very least, the family would be questioned and imprisoned, and at worst, they would likely be deported back to Japan. They loved their life here, and although his allegations were wholeheartedly false, Chef Naka knew that few police officers would look much deeper than the color of their skin and the shape of their eyes. He did as the man asked, though it turned his stomach. Mr. Gordon came by later to pick up the packages and the carved skin. He also left with Chef Naka a small Japanese puzzle box and asked him to pass it on to whoever came asking around about him after he left. At this point, he presented me with a beautiful wooden box, and I thanked him for his help. I told him I would be sure to let the local immigration office know about Chef Naka's help with this investigation to prevent any further inquiry about them. I also called an old security officer friend and asked him to keep an eye out for the Nakas. I wasn't taking any more chances this time. When I opened the box, I found the following message. Before becoming Captain Midnight, you were Detective Wilson. You thought your old identity and your old office's secret location were known only to you, but we Euclideans know it too. Head there for your final clue, precisely at 8 o'clock. 501 Jones Street, San Francisco, California, 94102. Your code word is also your next crossword clue. RUSWIN. I was starting to doubt that the Euclideans were real at all. None of my evidence really pointed to any other suspects besides the green-eyed man, except for the henchmen working at the columbarium. There was no record of the man in the personnel files, though. Maybe the Euclideans were just an elaborate shaggy dog story, perfectly designed to lure spies like Amo and myself on a winding, deadly trail. In fact, I suspected that the man I sought was a higher up in the secret squadron itself. How else could he have so systematically hunted down multiple expertly trained senior spies? How could he have known my real identity and the location of my old secret desk from my days as a private dick? Worst of all, what final clue awaited me? It was at this point in the case that I contacted Tits Akimbo and asked her help getting my messages to you. At this writing, there's no telling what I will find at my next destination or what horrors will greet you. I won't blame you if you turn and run the other way. Should you continue, however, look for my special decoder to unravel the message that was left for you at your next location. Yours, Captain Midnight.